Welcome to the special edition of On Point, and I'm joined by former Union Minister Jairam Ramesh, General Secretary in charge Communications of the Indian National Congress. So thank you so much for making time for News9 Live.
Thank you.
And let me begin this interview by asking you, why is Congress contesting election on constitutional values and the Constitution?
Because that's the one that is under the greatest threat. Democracy is under the greatest threat, and democracy is represented by this great constitution of ours, which is an agenda for socio-economic transformation. And this 400 par slogan that was given by the BJP was because it was a cloak to hide their secret desire, now no longer secret, to change the constitution. And the PM will not say it on his own, but he'll get a lot of puppets around him, his economic advisors, his MPs, his candidates, the RSS leaders, to say that the time for Dr. Ambedkar's constitution is over and we need a new constitution. So that's why we've been saying consistently that this constitution that is embedded in secularism, that is embedded in social justice, is under the gravest threat by another term to Mr. Modi.
But why has caste census become so central to the Congress campaign?
Well, you know, the caste census, incidentally, I was the rural development minister in 2011, and we carried out the socio-economic caste census. The last time a caste census was done in India was in 1931. Subsequently, many things have happened. Our constitution came. The basis of reservations, social justice is reservations, and the basis of reservations in our constitution is a census, is population. Population is the basis for providing representation through quotas and reservation. First it was scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, which was in the original constitution, and then after 1994, after the Supreme Court upheld the reservations for the OBCs under Article 350, reservations for the OBCs as well. Now all this has to be based on population. So we don't have a population count of OBCs. We have every 10 years we do a population count of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, although the last census that was due in 2021 has still not been done. There's been a 3-year delay, and that further leads to the suspicion that the Prime Minister wants to tinker with this constitution and the reservations. So in 2011 there was a debate in Parliament, and all political parties decided that we must have a socio-economic caste census, which not only enumerates the castes by population, but also looks at their socio-economic conditions. So we carried out, I was the minister concerned, we carried out a survey of 25 crore households in the country of socio-economic conditions and the caste. Now the caste data has not been published, but the socio-economic deprivation list has been used by the Modi government for the last 10 years for its social welfare, rural development, social security, and various other poverty alleviation programs. So unless we have an accurate assessment of what the population of the caste, different castes, see, you know, we don't like caste, we don't like the system of stratification, we don't like the system of discrimination, but the fact is castes have defined Indian society for thousands of years, and caste forms the basis of reservation that is embedded in our constitution. So unless we measure the population, we are not going to be giving meaningful social justice.
Why is Congress being accused by the Prime Minister that by introducing reservation, it will eat into the OBC quota?
See, I want to just, the Prime Minister is spreading an epidemic of lies on this issue, and he's referring repeatedly to the Karnataka model of reservations. Now what happened in Karnataka? Over a 20-year period, there were successive backward class commissions that advocated reservations for minorities, not just Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Jains, everybody, on the basis of social and economic backwardness, not on the basis of religion. So finally in 1994, when Mr. Veerappa Moily was the chief minister, reservations were introduced for Muslims, for Christians, for Buddhists, for Jains, for scheduled caste converts into Christianity, on the grounds of economic and social backwardness. A survey was carried out, and based on that, a reservation of 4% was provided to Muslims, for example. Now that's not giving reservations on the basis of religion, that's giving reservation on the basis of economic and social backwardness. Now since 1994, there have been 4 BJP chief ministers in Karnataka. There have been 2 prime ministers for 16 years out of the last 30 years. 16 years BJP has ruled in the centre. Now suddenly the prime minister discovers this as an issue. I want to ask the prime minister, number one, Mr. Deve Gowda, who became chief minister of Karnataka in December 1994, continued with this. So was Mr. Deve Gowda also communal? Was he playing communal politics? Now today, just this morning, we are speaking to each other on the 5th of May. This morning, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, who is an ally of the Prime Minister in Andhra Pradesh, has said he is in favour of reservations for minorities on the basis of economic and social backwardness. Does the Prime Minister challenge that statement as well? Does he say that his allies are wrong? So the real issue is that the Supreme Court, while it upheld the reservations for OBCs, said that the reservations for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and OBCs should not exceed 50%. 50% upper limit. Now we have promised that we will review this limit and we will increase this limit, because Tamil Nadu is the only state of India where there is 69% reservation for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and OBCs, and that is protected in the 9th schedule of the Constitution. No other state is the reservation protected in this manner by the Constitution. So we want to increase the 50% limit. I want to ask the Prime Minister, he keeps on talking about धर्म के आधार पर हम आरक्षण दे रहे हैं, जो बिल्कुल 100% गलत है, झूठ है. मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी से पूछना चाहता हूं, क्या ये आप 50% की सीमा हटाएंगे कि नहीं? Will you or will you not increase this limit? That's the issue.
But sir, even if I say that you want to increase it, but wouldn't it cause anxiety in the general population?
There is 10% reservation for economically weaker sections belonging to the other castes. Already Parliament has passed that law. Parliament already has and many states. Rajasthan in fact was the first state when Mr. Ashok Gehlot was chief minister, not this time around but the previous time. They introduced reservations for upper castes on the basis of economically weaker sections of the non-scheduled caste, non-scheduled tribe and OBCs.
A lot of academicians have written that, well, the objectives can be novel, but it will definitely lead to reconsolidation of caste identities in the Indian social structure.
No, but caste is a reality, my friend. Caste is a reality. Caste is very much a reality. Now, the Constitution of India abolishes untouchability, but the Constitution of India recognizes that caste is a basic reality, and that's why we have a concept called scheduled castes. We have a concept called scheduled tribes, and Article 340, we have socially and educationally backward classes, which subsequently became the category of OBC.
But do you think that this is really part of the basic Congress DNA? The slogan which was used by Ram Manohar Lohia to create his own or the independent political space for opposition vis-a-vis Congress was Sasopa ne bandhi kaat, pichhade paave 100 mein 60. In 1980s, when Kashiram was trying to challenge the Congress, he said, jiski jitni sankhya bhari hai, uski utni hissedari. Today you have spoken about jitni abadi utna
A party has to respond to emerging challenges. A party cannot remain frozen in time. A political party like the Congress has to respond to new challenges. What was 1991 economic policy? We were wedded to the public sector in the 50s and 60s, but we recognized in 1991 that the economic challenges were such that it required a wholesale liberalization of the old economic policy regime, and that's why we carried out. This is when Mr. Narasimha Rao and Dr. Manmohan Singh was the finance minister, a major transformation in economic policy. Now, similarly, as the process of economic growth has taken place, has prosperity has spread, people have become more aware, literacy has spread, urbanization has taken place. There's a new sense of empowerment amongst the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, OBCs, the traditionally disadvantaged groups. You have to listen to their voices as well. And what is their voice? Basically, if you were to ask me to summarize, what is the voice of these traditionally disadvantaged groups? It is, we want parity, we don't want charity. And the Congress party has to be responding to these voices.
The parity and equity, but
it's not just equity, by the way, it's parity also.
It's parity.
It's parity, not charity. That's what is being asked for.
The redistribution became a huge controversy.
No, No, that's a controversy manufactured by the Prime Minister. This is yet another example of the lies that he is spreading, the pandemic of lies that he has created in our country. We defeated the corona pandemic of sorts, although variants of corona keep coming, but this is the most dangerous pandemic we are facing, which is the pandemic of lies. There is the word redistribution does not figure anywhere in our 80-page manifesto. Okay. Not a single word of redistribution. All that we have said in our speeches, I have said in my speeches, Mr. Jairam has said, and of course most importantly, the Congress President, Mr. Kharge has said, or Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said, that in the last 10 years, the consequence of the Prime Minister's approach to economic policy is that we have 21 billionaires having as much wealth as 70 crore Indians. आर्थिक विषमताओं के बारे में हमारी बहुत चिंता है, बड़ी गंभीर चिंता है, पर हमने ये नहीं कहा है कि अगर आपके पास 2 भैंस है, हम 1 भैंस ले लेंगे, जबरदस्ती आपसे ले लेंगे, या मंगलसूत्र आपसे जबरदस्ती।
पर आपके क्रिटिक्स ये भी कहते हैं कि ये पार्टी रिफॉर्म की थी, which unshackled the license राज, लेकिन जब अब कहते हैं कि पार्टी has taken a left turn।
नहीं, लेफ्ट बिल्कुल लेफ्ट टर्न नहीं है, ये हकीकत है। आर्थिक तरक्की हुई है पिछले 30 सालों में, पर आर्थिक विषमताएं भी बढ़ी हैं, और खास तौर से पिछले 10 साल में 21 अरबपति हैं जिनके पास इतना धन है जो 70 करोड़ भारतवासियों के पास है। हम ये नहीं कह रहे हम एक पॉकेट से धन लेकर दूसरों को देंगे, हम ये नहीं कह रहे, हम कह रहे हैं हमारी आर्थिक नीति, इस पर तो सोच कीजिए, ये गंभीर समस्या है, बहुत बड़ी चुनौती है हमारे सामने। और आर्थिक विकास समावेशी होनी चाहिए, इट हैज टू बी ऑल इंक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ।
So, sir, in 1952, that was the only election which the Congress fought on the issue of communalism, social harmony. Yeah. And if you go through the speeches of Panditji, it was all about how social amenity needs to be restored in this country. Today, in 2024, you are fighting election on social amenity.
No, I need to correct you on this. What was the Bharat Jodo Yatra all about? What was the Bharat Jodo Yatra? What did Mr. Rahul Gandhi mean when he said, मैं नफरत की बाजार में मोहब्बत की दुकान खोल रहा हूँ?
But will it work in the Lok Sabha?
No, it has to, because that is what is under threat. Social harmony is under threat. Social relations are under threat. Communal harmony is under threat. The communal poison that is being injected day in and day out by the Prime Minister. He is playing on the pitch that he wants to prepare and play on, which is the pitch of communal disharmony. Every issue. First he says our manifesto is a Muslim League. Then he says we are, a Hindu-Muslim, we are giving reservations only to Muslims. Hindus are under threat. He wants to fight this campaign entirely on divisiveness and polarizing agenda. And that's what Mr. Rahul Gandhi said. Nafrat ki bazaar mein main mohabbat ki dukaan khol raha hoon. That is, we need economic growth. We need, to respect the rule of law. At the same time, social harmony is of fundamental importance. Without social harmony, India as a society, our definition of India has been diversity. What is our motto? Unity in diversity. अनेकता में एकता, अनेकताओं से ही एकता। एकता तभी मजबूत होगी जब हम अनेकताओं को सम्मान देंगे, अनेकताओं को स्वीकारेंगे और अनेकताओं का जश्न मनाएंगे। वही तो भारत जोड़ो यात्रा के समय राहुल जी बार बार बोल रहे थे।
The same thing he said in 2006 Hyderabad plenary, and he said national flag is my religion, but this articulation did not hold ground after 2014.
Because the Prime Minister, aided by his friends in the media, spends thousands of crores defaming Mr. Rahul Gandhi, doctoring videos, ascribing statements to him that he has never made, twisting comments that he has made completely out of context. It was a systematic. And why? Because Mr. Rahul Gandhi started speaking up for the tribals of Odisha.
Because he started,
he said then he started fighting for the land, people who are losing land to forcible land acquisition in Bhatta Parsol. When Mr. Rahul Gandhi started speaking up for tribal issues, on land issues, farmers issues, Mr. Modi and his friends in the media spent thousands of crores defaming him. But what he said in 2006 is his fundamental belief. And it was reflected in the Bharat Jodo Yatra. 4,000 kilometers he has walked from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, 150 days. Tell me which other politician has done. Has the Prime Minister done this? Not only that, he has done a 6,200 kilometer Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra from Manipur to Mumbai. Has the Prime Minister gone to Manipur in the last 1 year? Ever since Manipur started burning on the 3rd of May? Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been there 3 times. And we started our Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra from Manipur. The Prime Minister goes to Assam, he goes to Tripura, he can't go to Manipur for half an hour.
You know, your critics say that people understand what Bharatiya Janata Party stands for. There is a commitment to
Jumla,
Ram Temple.
commitment to
Let me complete my
Jumla,
question. There's
commitment to Jhoot.
They are committed to Ram Temple. They had an issue, you know, they wanted 370 to go away. What does Congress stand for?
हम राम के पुजारी हैं, राम के व्यापारी नहीं हैं. The Congress party stands for the Constitution of India. The Congress party stands for protecting the diversity of India. The Congress party stands for faster economic growth, but the fruits of economic growth going to different sections of society in an equitable manner. The Congress party does not stand for privatizing in a manner that only one or two companies benefit. The Congress party does not stand for the type of concentration of wealth that has taken place in the last 10 years. And certainly the Congress party does not stand for the atmosphere of fear and intimidation that has gripped all sections of Indian society.
These are nice goals, but how come so much of internal hemorrhaging has taken place? I mean, say the candidates with tickets have left the party.
They were Surat and Indore. We have not won since 1984. These were BJP bastions. Why is the BJP so disturbed? Why is the BJP so nervous? Why is the Prime Minister so shaken that he is forced Congress candidates, not only Congress candidates, even the independent candidates, in a seat, in 2 seats, which the Congress has not won since 1984. Why? What lies behind this extreme degree of intimidation of the voters? This shows the real mindset of the Prime Minister and his advisors.
On 19 September 2013, you gave an interview, a year before the elections. And in that interview, I've got 2 questions. You said it's not a referendum on Rahul Gandhi's leadership. And you said it is a fight between Congress and RSS.
It is.
So how do you frame 2024
Mr.
elections?
Rahul Gandhi himself has said, हम चुनाव लड़ेंगे, चुनाव में हम हारेंगे, हम जीतेंगे. पर ये हम लंबे समय तक हमें ये विचारधारा की लड़ाई लड़नी है. This is an ideological election. We are two ideologies are pitted against each other. The ideology of harmony, the ideology of protecting the constitution, the ideology of protecting democracy, the ideology of protecting freedom as we have known it, freedom for business, freedom for
But
trade,
why do you come across as
freedom for
anti-industrialist
students.
then, you know?
But it is an ideological struggle.
Anti-business.
It is an ideological struggle. Elections in India are not beauty contests between individuals. We are a parliamentary system of government. We elect parties. We give majority. Parties get a mandate based on their manifestos, on their ideologies, on their election campaigns, on their symbols. Ours is not an American system where we select individuals. Ours is a system where we give majority to parties and their allies. And that's what I mean by saying this is not a fight between individuals, this is a fight between ideologies. And these are 2 very sharp, diametrically opposite ideologies. But the RSS ideology of uniformity and the Congress ideology of protecting diversity to strengthen India's unity.
But why hate businesses? I think business is good. I mean, it provides job.
Today, Mr. Modi has cut corporate tax to record low levels, but there is no corporate investment taking place. You look at the corporate investment that took place when Dr. Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister. It was 34% of GDP. Today it's down to 27% of GDP. Why? Because nobody wants to invest. All businessmen are taking citizenship of Dubai, Singapore, London, USA. Everybody is afraid. They are forced to buy electoral bonds. If you don't toe the line, you get an ED, CBI, income tax investigation. This is the atmosphere of fear and intimidation.
Will you do away with PMLA laws? Sorry? If you come back to power?
Of course, we will. We said it in 2019 in our manifesto. We said it in 2019, we will abolish electoral bonds. We will remove the draconian powers that have been given to the tax authorities. Draconian powers have been given in the last 5 years. Bills have been bulldozed through parliament because they have majority. Now, business and trade must have full freedom to operate. We have promised a GST 2.0. We have promised moderate taxes. We have predictable tax, stable tax. So, in economic policy, we are not going to run the type of fear-oriented, intimidation-anchored economic policy that the Prime Minister has followed.
In the same interview, you said Muzaffarnagar is a millstone. In the same interview, you said there will be more such millstones. looking back at it, now 10 years have passed since that interview, you said the strategy will always be of polarization, and you said when Amit Shah was appointed as Uttar Pradesh in charge, it was a giveaway. So when you were saying this in 2013, why did Congress fail to respond? It was a publicly printed interview of a
absolutely.
union minister.
This is today, 2024. We are saying this repeat.
But your party
what
didn't
you're
respond.
seeing, what you're seeing, the campaign. What are our institutions doing? What is the election commission doing for the type of speeches that the prime minister is making, the home minister is making, the chief minister of UP is making? Why is the EC silent? Every statement that these three gentlemen are making violates the Model Code of Conduct, violates the Representation of People's Act, violates various orders of the Supreme Court. Why are institutions of democracy silent? Why isn't the press speaking out? We are, of course. I have been saying consistently, and everybody has been saying, our leadership has been saying, Kharge ji has been saying, Mr. Gandhi has been saying, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka ji has been saying that this election campaign of this Prime Minister is based on lies and communal propaganda. All he wants to do is polarize Hindu-Muslim.
आप भी अच्छा नहीं कर पाए. For the first time in so many years, you have not been able to cross 60. The country has not a LOP.
2024 में मैं आपको बोलता हूँ, आपको मुझे शायद आपको याद नहीं होगा, एक 1962 में एक बहुत मशहूर बॉलीवुड का फिल्म रिलीज़ हुआ था. उसके गाने आज भी लोग गाते हैं, बहुत लोकप्रिय गाने हैं. उस फिल्म का नाम था 20 साल बाद. 2004 में जो हुआ ना, 20 साल बाद 2024 में होगा. 2004 में क्या था? हम लोग छत्तीसगढ़ हारे थे, राजस्थान हारे थे, मध्य प्रदेश हारे थे. इंडिया वॉज शाइनिंग. भीष्म पितामह अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी वॉज प्राइम मिनिस्टर. प्रमोद महाजन वॉज रनिंग एन एग्रेसिव कैंपेन एंड एवरीबडी सेड कांग्रेस तो गई, कांग्रेस तो 100 भी नहीं कर पाएगी, 70 भी नहीं आएंगे उनको. 2004 में मई में किस पार्टी को जनादेश मिला? बताइए ना. सिंगल लार्जेस्ट पार्टी
Congress
कौन
got
है?
it, but let me ask you a question. In 2000, I think at 1 or 2, you were in power in 14 to 15 states. You had a hegemony in Northeast. You were strong in today what is Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. You were strong in Himachal, Uttarakhand, Delhi, Rajasthan. You were in fact winning seats from Gujarat.
I don't disagree with you. We have lost a large number of states, and today we have 3 states: Himachal Pradesh, Telangana, and Karnataka. Northeast, we don't have a single state government. I don't disagree with you that the cycle of political history has shifted against us. But you will see that in 2000, I said it after phase 1, I said it after phase 2, दक्षिण भारत में बीजेपी साफ, उत्तर भारत और मध्य भारत में बीजेपी हाफ.
And even if you look at the
और
data,
अगर आप राजस्थान देखें, महाराष्ट्र देखें, कर्नाटक देखें, तेलंगाना देखें, आपको बिल्कुल साफ हो जाएगा कि 2024 the Congress and its India allies will get a clear and convincing majority. And that is what explains the Prime Minister's desperation, the Prime Minister's nervousness. प्रधानमंत्री भोकलाए हुए हैं, घबराए हुए हैं, और जिस भाषा का इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, जो सांप्रदायिक जहर फैला रहे हैं, इसी का नतीजा है.
ठीक है, आपकी इंडिया अलायंस भी तो नहीं बन पाई.
कहाँ है? इंडिया अलायंस तो है. क्या कह रहे हैं आप? किस दुनिया में रह रहे हैं? इंडिया जनबंधन तो है. एक ममता के साथ हम सीट शेयरिंग फॉर्मूला नहीं कर पाए, पर ममता जी ने खुद कहा है, कल परसों ने भी कहा है.
नीतीश भी चले गए थे.
हाँ?
नीतीश,
अरे वो तो पलटी मास्टर है, मैं क्या करूं, बार बार पलटी करते रहते हैं. वो गए, ये बात सही है. हमारे जयंत चौधरी भी गए, पर आरएलडी तो गया, पर ओएलडी तो हमारे साथ है. असली लोक दल तो हमारे साथ है. जब भारत जोड़ो न्याय यात्रा अलीगढ़ में आया, संभल में आया, ये हाथरस में आया, स्वागत हमको कैसा किया गया? बैनर थे, होर्डिंग थे, चौधरी चरण सिंह और इंदिरा गांधी. असली लोक दल हमारे साथ है. तो नीतीश कुमार की पलटी मैं मानता हूँ, वो पलटी थी, पर वो हो सकता है वो वापस भी पलटी कर सकते हैं.
So you spoke about ideological clarity, but organizationally, how do you intend to get Congress back on its feet? You have lost so much of space, and then you get into alliance with the same party who run away with your votes. And this has happened. Let me complete the question. And it has happened decades after decades. 70s, the West Bengal went out. 69, Tamil Nadu went out. In 80s, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh went out. in 90s, I remember that was the last government in Orissa, and then by the time 2000 was there, you had this Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. It went out in 1999. Gujarat
We have
went out.
lost, no doubt, we have lost our dominant position in Indian politics. There is no doubt. There is no doubt about it. I'm not going to contest that because the facts are in front of me. The number of states we are in power in, our strength in the Rajya Sabha, our strength in the Lok Sabha, we are a pale shadow of what we used to be. We have to rebuild the party. We have to rebuild the party organizationally. We have to rebuild the party electorally. But most importantly, what Mr. Rahul Gandhi started with Bharat Jodo Yatra and continued with Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra, we have to rebuild the party ideologically. We have to be clear ourselves. What is it that we stand for? What is it that we are going to fight for? What is it that we are going to stake everything that we have? And I think that ideological clarity is very evident in this election campaign of ours. It's very evident in our manifesto, in our Nyay Patra, in our Panch Nyay 25 guarantee, which has forced the Prime Minister to use the type of language that he is using, including calling our manifesto a Muslim League manifesto.
Every ideology has a face. Who is your face? The prime ministerial candidate.
No, we don't. This is not प्रधानमंत्री कौन बनेगा प्रधानमंत्री के चुनाव नहीं है ये. किस पार्टी को जनादेश मिलेगा, किस गठबंधन को जनादेश मिलेगा. अभी प्रधानमंत्री बीजेपी की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं.
वो तो आपने 2013 में भी बोला था, लेकिन हुआ वही.
देखिए, उन्होंने ट्वीट देखा आपने 4-5 दिन पहले क्या किया? एनडीए का जिक्र कर रहे हैं. अचानक उनको एनडीए याद आ गया क्योंकि इंडिया मजबूत हो गया है. और एक चीज़ मैं और बताऊं आपको, इंडिया है ना, इंडिया से पहला आई निकालिए इंसानियत, दूसरा आई निकालिए ईमानदारी, क्या बचा? एनडीए. तो इंडिया माइनस इंसानियत माइनस ईमानदारी is equal to NDA.
So my last question to you is, if you analyze the data from your Karnataka and Telangana win, it's very clear that you got votes from the regional setups. You broke into the Gowda votes and the JDS. In Telangana, you broke the hegemony of BRS. But the
यार, we defeated the BJP.
But the Hindutva vote remain intact.
नहीं, घुमा फिरा कर कुछ भी बोलो, हमारी लड़ाई कर्नाटक में किसके खिलाफ थी?
You defeated BJP in Karnataka.
We are beating BJP. Yeah, we are fighting the BJP. You know, these are all, armchair sociological, cephalogical analysis that commentators carry out. The reality is we defeated the BJP lock, stock and barrel in Karnataka. We defeated the BRS. I agree with you. Our primary opponent in Telangana was the BRS. The BJP, there was a time 1 year ago when all the great pundits, there are many pundits, electoral pundits who come on television from every now and then and pontificate on the Congress, write obituaries of the Congress, abuse Mr. Rahul Gandhi. I remember one very distinguished gentleman saying that in Telangana, Congress is a distant third. He said this publicly. He's had to eat his words. Now we are a distant first. Both BJP and BRS are a distant second and a distant third. So, it's very fashionable. It's very fashionable to write obituaries of the Congress. It's very easy to say the Congress is like this, Congress is like that, Congress hasn't done this, Congress hasn't done that. Because the Congress has occupied the pole position in Indian politics for decades. I can understand. But the fact of the matter is, in 2024, you will see a turnaround.
How many seats?
I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm not I'm not an astrologer, I'm not a poll pundit. I'm telling you, in 2004, I was amongst the very few who were saying that we will get a clear, convincing majority. We became the single largest party, and India and the group, not India, that time there was no India, that time there was a group alliance, there was a Congress party, had allies in different states, and after the result came out, the UPA was formed. The Congress and its allies in different states got a clear majority. And I can tell you, once we get a clear and convincing majority in 2024, a large number of parties will do palti back from NDA into India.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.